are false. I am not a master of anything. I am not even a master of myself. Surrender means to give everything to the Guru and rid ourselves of the unholy connection of so many possessions, so that they may not disturb us by always suggesting, "You are my master," and in this way misleading us. We should think everything belongs to the Lord and his delegation, the Guru. I am not the master of anything. That sort of knowledge we should imbibe, and that will be helpful to our real spiritual progress. This is reality. We have to realize that fact. We want the truth and we want to free ourselves from false notions. So proper Diksha, spiritual initiation, imparts the divine knowledge that nothing belongs to us. Not only that, but everything belongs to God, including ourselves. That is the conception of Diksha. I belong to him. Everything belongs to him. I am his servant, and these are the objects of his service. Fool's paradise. This is reality, and we are suffering under non-reality in an imaginary world. We are living in a fool's paradise. We should do away with the fool's paradise and try to enter into real paradise. When we have a peep into the characteristic of the absolute environment of reality, and even a little regard for the truth, we can no longer relish the paraphernalia of this world as we did previously. Because we have had a real taste of the higher truth, we will have no charm for this material world. We will no longer feel encouragement to meet with the duties that are relating to this world of enjoyment. We will be indifferent. We know that the connection with the present enjoying moods brings a painful reaction. We can realize that, but we cannot leave it behind. We cannot cut off the connection completely in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practice. Still, we have no other alternative. Our affinity for the positive truths should be increased more and more, and gradually our affinity for our paraphernalia and obligations will all disappear. Although repeatedly we may not be successful, still we will be unable to give up the idea. We will attempt again and again to make progress toward the truth. And when we are unsuccessful, our heart will ache to think that we are repeatedly being defeated by the enemies who are all around us. Mental mushrooms. But the fire of Krishna consciousness is there, and that fire is not to be quenched. It is a spark of eternal truth. So the fire will continue, and the day will come when the enemies that are surrounding us will have to retire once and for all. One day we will find that Krishna has gradually captured our whole heart, and the others have retired forever. They are no longer present to trouble us in our mental circle. We will find that that those unwanted things were like mushrooms. They came out of our mental soil, and now they have all gone and died. They have all gone away, and Krishna alone is in the heart. At that time, the heart is only full of Krishna conception. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur once instructed a disciple at the time of initiation into the Hare Krishna mantra that Krishna should be allowed to land in our hearts, just as an army is landed by the navy. An army is carried by a ship, and when they have landed, the flight begins and they capture the country, just as Julius Caesar said, "Vini vidi vici." I came, I saw, I conquered. So we have to allow Krishna to land in our hearts. Then the fight will begin. What is the proposal of Krishna consciousness, and what is the proposal of so many other conceptions? They are all giving us their assurances from time immemorial, saying, "I shall give you this, I shall give you that." But the Krishna conception will enter and say, "My claim is this, the whole thing is mine, and you are all trespassers." The fight will begin. The unwanted things are sure to withdraw, and Krishna consciousness will capture the whole heart. This is the process. Krishna consciousness has only to land within our hearts. Somehow or other, from a pure devotee, a bit of real Krishna consciousness should enter through our ears into our hearts, and Krishna will supply whatever is required. One who has imbibed even a slight regard for Krishna consciousness is assured of success in spiritual life, today or tomorrow. Krishna is a thief. We may have erected high walls on all sides to protect ourselves so that Krishna consciousness may not enter. But Krishna is a thief, and a thief requires no invitation. No preparation is necessary for his welcome. He will enter for his own interest, and that is our consolation. Our solace is that Krishna is a thief. Maya has erected her high walls on all sides, but nothing is sufficient to stop Krishna consciousness. Krishna is a thief, and stealthily he will enter one day. A devotee may become hopeless, thinking, "The enemy is within my own house. My own kinsmen are my enemies. I am hopeless." We may become disappointed, but Krishna consciousness will not leave us in any way. Krishna will persevere, and in due course of time, he will conquer. And other things, no matter how closely related, they may be in private and well-protected rooms in our hearts. Will have to go. They must take leave from every corner of our hearts. Krishna will conquer. Krishna will capture the whole thing. The unwanted, lusty desires of our heart are foreign things. They are only mushrooms. Like mushrooms, they come out. They have no permanent stability or root. They are not rooted rooted to the soil. We may think that what we have stored in our hearts is very near and dear, and that is already mixed with us as a part of our existence. But when Krishna consciousness enters, that will all float like mushrooms. After all, they are mushrooms. They have no footing, no connection with the soil. They are only floating. All material interests are only floating on the surface. They are not deeply rooted within and without the whole of our existence. Only Krishna consciousness is present everywhere, within all parts of our existence. So the mushrooms will have to vanish one day. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Pravishtaha karna rantrena svanam bhava sororuham dunati samalam krishnaha salilasya yatasharat. When Krishna enters the heart through the ear, he captures the lotus feet of the heart, the lotus of the heart, and then gradually makes all the dirt in the heart disappear. Just as when the autumn season comes, all the water everywhere becomes pure. So also when Krishna enters our hearts, all the impurities within will gradually vanish, and only Krishna will remain forever.
So very hopeful reflections for us by Srila Sridhara Maharaj, giving us hope and that the mushrooms can be picked or dissolved or removed. What does he say here? They have no permanent stability or root. So if you've ever picked a mushroom, it floats on the surface just above the grass. And you see the mushroom has no root. So mental mushrooms, and I remember Srila Govinda Maharaj, he used to get very animated, and he would use the example like clouds in the mental sky, and he would say, Bhakti will blast the clouds in the mental sky. And then, of course, the analogy of the mushrooms, that they'll rise to the surface and be removed through the connection with the holy name, Sri Gurudev, the holy book. So any aspect in the holy path is the descending, excuse me, amnaya. Amnaya means the revealed truth descending as a person, of course, Radha Krishna, in the form of the holy name, and then the representative of the supreme couple, or Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. And so Krishna's mercy and Krishna's descension into the Mayak system is through many empowering vehicles. And you can say, like in the form of Shastra, Krishna is there, Krishna Vidya. Also, he can descend into the Thakur, Archanam. He descends and becomes the prasadam, which the devotees honor. So when that foodstuff, bhoga, is offered to the representative, the parampara, that gets accepted, it gets handed up, then that also becomes Krishna. Krishna is also appearing as transcendental sound vibration. So all these different divine aspects, they remove, shake up, and wash away these mental mushrooms. And we're told in that first verse of Shikshastaka, Chetal Darpana Marjanam, that the Mahamantra will clear the dust in the mental system, which is also considered like mushroom or cloud in the mental sky. And the first effect is it will give you liberation. So anartana vritti, the unwanted things will be removed. Then nishta, ruchi, will come. But first Radha, nothing unless there's faith, proper faith established, how those mushrooms will be removed. So Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha Tabhajana Kriya. Through the Sadhu Sangha, you're introduced to the king of the sadhus, the teachings of the great masters. And then the acharyas engage us in the bhajana kriya. The bhajana kriya is the practice. The So, excuse me, so Sambandha, Jnana, and then Abhidaya, the practice by which we become engaged in the service, which is chanting the holy name, honoring Krishna Prasadam, associating with the sadhu, Shastra Seva, Archanam Seva. And then as a result, by that sincere faith, Guru Gauranga are merciful to us, and then they remove the anartha, the all-purifying wave of Bhakti Shakti. Brahma Bhakti Jaha Hoiti Avida Vanasajati. The love, the current descends, the purity, and then the Avida is removed gradually, depending, and can happen in 1 minute, can happen, as Prabhupada in an animated lecture in Melbourne, he said to one devotee who was asking a question, 1 second, he put his finger up, 1 second, why 1 minute? But rare, 1 minute is rare, 1 second is rare, but still possible. When Srila Sridhara Maharaj was asked, he said, generally many lifetimes, because so many mushrooms and so many layers of the ahankar, but still be hopeful, because don't ever underestimate the power of bhakti, the power of the path. It can remove and cleanse everything. There's nothing Krishna consciousness cannot purify. So this is why we're at the window of Nityananda Prabhu. He's all merciful, he can purify and deliver the most fallen. So in the Kali Yuga, we're all qualified because we're all fallen. So he's come to deliver us. If we, of course, comply with the prescription as given by Nitai and the representatives of Nityananda. So this is
I have one question.
a great opportunity.
Where do all these mushrooms come from?
Gurudev, I think Samuki wants to say something.
Yes.
Yes.
Samuki,
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Thank you, Amrika. Where do all this mushroom come from?
This is it. Yeah. Why mushrooms? Like, I didn't sign up for this. So, well, we sort of did. Sorry, folks. We went to the supermarket. We grabbed some cans of mushroom soup, in the sense when we made the fatal decision, or the fatalistic, the wrong decision to choose the attraction to Maya, the outgoing current, then of course karma, our desire, karma, drew us into lording it over the material nature. So it's said that the first position that we take is as the position of Brahma. Brahma is the creator of the material universe. So, and then from there we gradually become captured. And mushrooms are the result of action-reaction within our desire to lord it over the material energy. So the conditioned soul is riddled with mushroom, many clouds, many layers of cloud around the soul in the form of the subtle body. So false construct, intelligence, intelligence, and mental system. So these mushrooms have come as a result of karma, the desire to enjoy separately from the supreme entity. So this is called sin. So self-interested nature, the result is mushroom, many mushroom. So, but the process of bhakti, positively, will gradually move us from self-interested nature into God-interested nature, or Guru-interested nature, which is exclusive service to Sri Guru. Service to Guru is service to Krishna. If the Guru is encouraging us toward the service of Krishna, then that Guru is qualified in the sense that he is instigating the movement of practical guidance and example to encourage you into the service of Krishna. So this is where, you know, Prabhupada, he once expressed, I've not changed anything. So my one qualification is that I have only tried to repeat the instructions of my spiritual master to you all. And he said, I consider you all as being sent by my spiritual master to assist me in that service. So I'm not changing anything. And he said, you are all like flowers by which I'm offering to Srila Saraswati Thakur. So it's through that connection with Sri Guru that the mushroom system can be cleansed. But originally, yes, it's coming by this choice after leaving the nirvana, the plane of renunciation. Where there are two waves, Srila Govinda Maharaj expressed, the outgoing current and the ingoing current. So on our surfboard, we took the outgoing current. And here we are, wandering. We are down at the crossroads, folks. So today, we've chosen at that crossroad, we've chosen this field, we've chosen this chance in this book club to reflect upon the right decision, which is service to Guru Gauranga. But we could have made another choice today, which is to go to the pub, ignore Guru, ignore Krishna, to move in self-interested way. So we're fortunate, we have chance. We have some chance. So the mushrooms can be removed. The mental sky can be cleared through Hariyanama, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalona Steva Nastevaka Tiranyata. So yes, a long expressed answer to your question. Samukhi, Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Should I continue, or does someone else want to read?
Yes, I mean, you know, it's like whatever. Yeah, you continue then, if no one's jumping forward. It's like always the necessity of the seva. One time the Srila Prabhupada, he was giving a lecture, and because he was very intensive for his service, like he would move mountains around what was necessary. Child crying, be quiet. That's strong, that style. Srila Govinda Maharaj had another style. He would sort of, okay, no problem, let the child cry. He would just speak a little louder. So Prabhupada, knowing his time was short, he was very intensive for the service, and so he didn't want anything distracting. So one time the microphone was slipping down in front of him. It kept moving down, and he knew that probably the only way was that the microphone at the stand, at the hinge where it moves and it's slipping down, needed to be tied up. So he said to one of his disciples, take off your Brahman thread and tie up that microphone stand so that it doesn't keep slipping. And of course, his disciple was a little shocked, you know, but Guruji, I'm not supposed to take off the Brahman thread. He said, of course, Prabhupada is the Guru, so you take off the thread. So he took it off, tied it up, and then the microphone was stable and he was able to continue with the Hari Katha for the benefit of the audience. Later, Prabhupada re-gave him the thread or put the thread back on him, but he was very intensive. So if there's a gap and no one's responding for the request, then launch to the next.
I guess I can read then.
He's
because as you said that there's noise in the back, I was thinking, I probably shouldn't read. There's a lot of noise, but anyways.
I think most people are driving too.
Yeah. The Hare Krishna mantra. Before chanting the holy name of Krishna, we must first chant the Pancha Tattva mantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. The Panchatattva, or 5 features of the Absolute Truth, came to give the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to the fallen devotees of the sage. So they are the general representation of Guru for us. They help us to enter into the domain of Krishna and also the plane of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After chanting the Panchatattva mantra, we should count on the beads of the Japa Mala and chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. While counting beads and chanting the holy name, the bead should be placed inside a cloth bag, and the index finger, which is generally considered inauspicious, should not touch the beads, but should remain outside the bag. Generally, we use the thumb and middle finger to count. One should chant 16 rounds as recommended by Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. But if there is any emergency, he must chant at least 4 rounds. The mala should not be kept fasting. In the process of counting, we begin from the bigger beads and go towards the smaller, and again return in the same line. The giant bead in the center is called Mount Sumeru. We must not cross over that. This Harinam Mahamantra is found in the Upanishads as well as in the Agni Purana and in the Brahmananda Purana. In the Kalisantarana Upanishad, it is recommended as the highest mantra, and scholars have mentioned this mantra as a means of address only. No appeal should be attached to that. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the Yuga Dharma Nam, or the process of God realization, especially meant for the present age, Kali Yuga. We find the Mahamantra mentioned everywhere in the Puranas. The mantra can be chanted silently, mentally, and aloud. It has been given to us by Mahaprabhu as the general recommendation for the fallen souls. He has given it for all, whether they are qualified or unqualified. The only condition for receiving it is Shraddha, faith. It is mentioned in the
interjection. So one time, one disciple of Srila Maharaj, he was saying sometimes he would chant the mala on the bus, and people were thinking, oh, this man is a crazy man. He's muttering to himself, and he asked Srila Guru Maharaj, what should I do? I chant the mala on the bus, and people are looking at me strange, thinking I'm crazy. Srila Guru Maharaj laughed and he said, if you have high faith, you can continue and don't care anything, courageous and callous. But he said, you also can take the name mentally, or upamshu. Upamshu means the lip is moving but no sound, upamshu. And then he laughed, all the devotees laughed. And he said, yeah, there is no restriction. Mentally, quietly, loudly, it will have its effect. Hare Krishna.
Is there any is mental japa better than
so one should at least some audible sound while chanting on the mala is best, at least some whisper. It is true, those who are it is mentioned, Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about smaranam, the remembrance or sort of mental chanting, but generally in the age of Kali, it's recommended some audible. That's why ultimately Sankirtan should accompany the Japamala Seva also. But still, when that direct question came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, his direct response from a higher, although there are different opinions from different acharyas, his direct response was ultimately whatever is most internally sincere. That was his response, actually. Because this question has come up around Srila Gurudev also, and he would present different perspectives, but he would always say whatever is internally sincere. But see, Japa Mala Seva is for you, it's your own reflection and meditation, private meditation on Mahamantra. So you see, in the ISKCON days, we would have a tape of Srila Prabhupada playing in the background. We would chant, sit like young brahmacharis, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the sound would be there for us to hear. like when I chant on the mala, I whisper, I can hear myself. But whatever is internally sincere. But when not with the mala, then you can always chant mentally, if it's not appropriate, you know. But also Sankirtan, chanting in congregation, is very much always recommended. Means to come together in Sankirtan. That also has great potency because many together glorifying. Then if there are more advanced sadhakas in your presence in Sankirtan, that benefit you'll also get from their expression of glorification. It's true.
Didn't Haridas Thakur also mix it up as well, like with the upasana, like the mental out loud and
from Chaitanya Charitamrita, no, we're told that his chanting was audible because we know the famous story of how the local magistrate sent a prostitute to test Haridas Thakur, and she was the personification of Maya Devi. And she sat, he said, okay, just wait, I have to do some more rounds of the Maha Mantra. And so we know that it wasn't mental, upamshu, or on the lip, because she heard the Maha Mantra from his divine lips, like lotus, like flower petals emanating from his lotus mouth. That sound vibration actually purified her. Actually, Srila Govinda Maharaj used to say, why I'm always taking the name of Srila Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, because he's the Namacharya. So when taking Maha Mantra, always before you chant on the Japamala, try to please take the name of Namacharya Haridas Thakur. So go Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, because he will give special blessings and mercy to us who are in the Kali Yuga, aspiring to do that seva, as Mahaprabhu instructed. And we know that Haridas Thakur is Lord Brahma who came. So our Lord Brahma is a pure devotee, and came as Haridas Thakur. So if you take his name, he'll bless you with advancement in taking the name towards Sudanam.
So for me, that I'm not really familiar with all those names, may I have sort of written guidance of how to do that, or is that something that how can I do that, basically?
So these things will become familiar to you in time, these personalities, but Haridas Thakur was a great saint that was a contemporary of Lord Chaitanya, and his only service was to chant the mala. Anyway, that's another big pastime. We won't get too long into it because of this book club, but so there are many personalities in Chaitanya Leela that assisted in the service with Lord Chaitanya when he came 500 years ago. Namacharya Haridas Thakur was a very central figure in the Gaudiya world. And so he was considered the incarnation of the chanting of the Maha Mantra. And he always chanted, that was his only seva, to chant the Maha Mantra, along with assisting Lord Nitai, Lord Nityananda, in preaching Mahaprabhu's message. Anyway, so some of those points, like I'm recording this so you can go back. I'll post this, and then as you're hearing back through, make some question, and then I can do a one-on-one with you and go through some reflections. Dandavad. Hare Krishna.
should I continue?
Yes.
Okay. So It is mentioned in the Padma Purana that there are 10 kinds of offenses we must try to avoid in chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There are also 4 kinds of namabhas, or apathetic chanting, which will not give us entrance into the domain of mercy. Mere liberation will be affected by that kind of invocation. These 2 improper kinds of chanting stem from our tendencies for exploitation and renunciation. We must chant the name with the spirit of service and avoid the 10 offenses. Abusing saints. The first offense is to abuse the devotees who are the agents of spreading the greatness and nobility of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. If we abuse and dishonor his agents, then the name is dissatisfied. Only the devotees of Krishna are real saints, because they are after eternal life. Those persons who worship demigods for temporary gain are not considered saints. They may be neglected, for they are not devotees. Saint means Vaishnav, or devotee. All others, such as the worshippers of demigods, are not considered saints. We avoid them. A saint is one who has no ambition in his life, but to have a connection of loving service with the Supreme Lord. Only those who are agents of eternal truth, absolute good, are to be considered saintly. We should not abuse such saintly persons. Demigod worship. The second offense concerns how we should treat the demigods, including Shiva, Shakti, the sun god, and others. They are not to be considered equal to or greater than Vishnu or Krishna. They are under him, and they are all inferior to him. They are given engagements by the Supreme Lord, Krishna, and they have to discharge their duties according to his order. They are never equal or superior to Krishna. Guru, good as God. The third offense.
Everyone, first and second, everyone, is that clear for everyone? First and second. There's many reflections that can come from those 2, many, in regard to Hinduism, in regard to constructive criticism. Is that the same as criticism of higher Vaishnava? Constructive. So a Vaishnava in a higher rank, someone might go, oh, this person is criticizing me. They must be an offender to the holy name. But if it's coming from a higher rank and it's constructive with good intent, that's also not considered offense. Anyway, there's some points, but still all these factors are there. But as we become familiar with Vaishnava Siddhanta, even what is there in the 10 offense, it will be in context to the greater development, both in the associated clan sadhus and how they interact and respect each other, how they guide each other, and then also how to harmonize. Because if we go in and say to somebody who's worshipping Shiva, this is all nonsense, you're all offenders to the Maha Mantra, you're considering Shiva supreme, Brahma supreme. So diplomacy and tact is necessary in that regard. So because we want to bring everyone favorably to gradual alignment. So even these 10 offenses, you'll see the acharyas are saying, they don't say avoid the 10 offenses. They say try to avoid the 10 offenses. This is why practitioner. So many things. Anyway, just a few short reflections.
We got a reflection over here.
No.
Just kidding.
Hare Krishna. Reflection, no reflection.
No, can you tell us about the one Leela in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat where there's a Shaivite that's chanting Om Namah Shivaya, but it also happens that Lord Gauranga is right there. And I believe he jumps on his shoulders and he says, I am Shiva. And the Shaivite's still chanting Om Namah Shivaya, but because of his sincerity, Lord Gauranga himself is actually jumping on his shoulders. And his lotus feet are, I was thinking about this today, his lotus feet are actually kicking like up around his body, you know. Are you familiar with the story?
I know there is, Chaitanya Bhagavat, not so much. Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, there's the Mahaprakash Leela of where Mahaprabhu is showing different forms of divinity or avatar to the eternal associates. And in memory, like Ram, Leela, Murari Gupta, attachment to Ram, different eternal associates. But if it's there in Chaitanya Bhagavat, yeah, it may be because ultimately, if within Gauranga, within the Supreme, all other aspects of representation and manifestation are found. So a very, very sincere disciple of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva he himself was worshipping Purushottam in Kailash. So he's active in his meditation to who? And he's also Gopeshvara, the guardian of the Dham. So yes, it's possible that in that position as a sincere Shivite, Shiva also wants to give bhakti to his disciples. Many of them are coming for siddhi and they're coming for liberation. So he gives them that, but the inner Sadashiva, Advaita Acharya, wants to give Gauranga. So in that context, yes, it's Mahaprabhu of course is wanting, because even the followers of Shankaracharya like Prabodhananda Saraswati, Prakashananda Saraswati, they're established within the Shankarite conception, but Gauranga Mahaprabhu appearing before them and drawing them from mukti, the muktan jivan conception, to bhakti, and it's true, so he converted. So if that's, I haven't read that, or I don't have memory of that in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, but if it's there, then it would be in the mood that, yes, Mahaprabhu is drawing everyone from other worship and states of theistic conception to the ultimate, to the supreme theistic conception.
Yeah, I've heard it in two different versions, and it was due to his because he was worshiping Lord Shiva sincerely, which means sincere from the heart, which means bhakti, which means he actually already had bhakti, right? So he's worshiping that inherently because he's not a Mayavad. He's actually worshiping, I mean, I don't know, this is kind of how I understood it. He's worshiping with devotion that Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that devotion. He was saying, I am Shiva, while he's worshiping him. And they're both basically in ecstasy. And he's writing on his shoulders saying, I am Shiva, while this devotee of Shiva is worshiping Shiva or something like that. I was very touched by it. I wasn't going to share, but Chintamani unmuted me accidentally or whatever.
Because when we say, like in the offense to the holy name, independent worship of Shiva. So this is interesting. If we analyze this, there are those who worship Shiva, but who are non-fixed to the Shiva conception. There are those who worship the impersonal, but who are non-fixed. But when the higher appears, like as Mahaprabhu, or like, for instance, I have a student that I connected in Byron Bay, and she was an ardent follower of Buddhism, strong and staunch, Mahayana Buddhism. And then somehow or other by, you could say, some auspicious arrangements, perhaps her Nitya Sakriti from the past life kicking in, she came to meet with us all, and then I introduced her to the teachings of Srila Vindamar and Srila Sridhara and Srila Prabhupada. She said, whatever I found in my Buddhistic reflection and meditation, there's something I'm attracted to in this Mahamantra and the devotees and the prasadam. And then over a series of lectures we went through and we discussed that whatever the Buddhists can offer us, which is entrance into the watery aspect, the prakriti or the nirvana, that will be attained automatically by bhakti. So she was Buddhist, but still not locked or fixed Buddhist. She was thinking she was fixed, but no, when bhakti, the presentation of Vaishnavism, came to her, and me being the instrument or aspiring instrument, then her attraction for bhakti developed. And then later, she took connection of Mahamantra. So fixed and non-fixed. So the higher is always trying to draw everything to itself, reality by itself and for itself. So many of us came from Christian doctrine. Some of us were Shivites. I mean, prior to me coming to Bhakti, I considered myself as a follower of Paramahamsa Yogananda. And I had lots of deep feeling and connection with Paramahamsa Yogananda and his teachings. And had experiences too, no doubt, something. Maybe I'll share one day. But when I came to the Mahamantra or to Bhakti, something shifted. But I wasn't fixed to the doctrine of Paramahamsa Yogananda. I wasn't fixed to the Paramatma conception. I was non-fixed. So this personality who was worshipping Shiva, yeah, he would have recognized, yes, Mahaprabhu was also Shiva. But more than Shiva, Krishna, Gauranga. More than Shiva, Vishnu. Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu. Very mysterious, how the higher is drawing everything unto itself. If you're ready, you know. So he would have got the mercy. But generally, many followers of Shiva get entrance to his realm. But to take to be in the arena of Shiva and Maheshdam, you have to take female form. That's revealed in Vedanta. He's the only male and everyone female, Prakriti. So that plane, Srila Guru Maharaj expresses, is liberated, but some independence, not devotion proper. Only in Vaikuntha is it proper and established. So there's that plane in between Maheshdam. Yeah, interesting. So much, we've been blessed with so much, and you know, by our master's teachings, vast oceanic revelation. We are so fortunate. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhara, Srila Govinda, and all coming from Saraswati Thakur, and all other branches of the Gaudiya tree are also being nourished and inspired on many levels by the Rupanugadara. But between Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, so Vrindavan Das Thakur and Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Sridhara Maharaj expressed the followers of Saraswati Thakur, we align more to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita because more authentic and Siddhanta, whereas Vrindavan Das Thakur, some mixing, poetic style, but some mixing with the relative. Which was very interesting to hear that. Because you'll see Chaitanya Bhagavat, generally there's no purport. Whereas Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, there was purport by Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So poetic and perfect, but still some relative analogy and other aspects. But so the followers of Saraswati Thakur were always more inclined to Chaitanya Charitamrita in the very deep Siddhantic philosophical conceptions of Gaudiya Siddhanta. But I asked the question, can I read Chaitanya Bhagavat? Because I had attraction. And Gurudev, yeah, of course, I have it there. And he looked at that particular version. He held the book, he held that book in his hand. And he said, yes, you can read that. So reading both, but Chaitanya Charitamrita is considered more authorized. That was the expression of Srila Govinda Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
We should humbly think or feel that we have arrived to the perfect place.
Hare Krishna. They came, you know, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Sridhara, Srila Govinda Maharaj. Everything is but a gracious grant from them. Where, as you know, many have expressed, we are trying to live in the prasad remnants of the great Vaishnavas. We're living in their prasad remnants, trying to live. So all of this, what we're reading, everything is their divine grace's kripa, Guru kripa to us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, abusing saints, is that where we left off? Yeah. No.
Abusing saints was number 1.
No, Guru,
No. Yeah. Third offense. And even amongst these 10 offenses, there is also some offenses more significant than others that we must try to avoid, of course. Anyway, that's...
Okay. A guru, good as God. The third offense is to consider the guru a human being. Although so many human symptoms may be found in him, still, according to our sincerity to meet Godhead, the Lord descends and represents himself in the guru to satisfy our hunger for the truth. We must see him as the agent of the Lord. It has been advised to us in a general way not to think of the guru as a mortal being, because if our attempt to attain the absolute is sincere, then he will also come to us to deliver us. God is omniscient, so through a particular agent who acts as his representative, he comes here to accept us and take us up to the higher plane. We are ordered by the advice of the scriptures to see the guru as the representative of the absolute, because none can give us Krishna but he himself. God's presence should be perceived in our Gurudev. We should see that God has come to give himself to us. Generally, we find mortal signs in the body of the spiritual master, but we must transcend that. The Ganges water may be filthy in its external appearance, but still the dirty Ganges water can purify us by its touch. To our material senses, the deity seems to be wood, stone, or earth, but that is our polluted vision. Krishna is there, and sometimes he is seen to walk and to talk with the devotees of a higher order. We must not think that he is made of material stuff. When we go and stand before the deity, we should not think that we can see him, but that he is seeing us. He is in the subjective plane. I am his object. He is mercifully seeing us to purify us. In this way, our vision must be adjusted. Krishna was killed by a hunter. The atheist will interpret that it was an ordinary incident, but it is not so. Sita was stolen by Ravana. That this is all external, all illusory. The real truth is above in the transcendental realm. So we are requested by the expert transcendentalist and by the Shastra to see that our Gurudev is above these mortal signs. Krishna says, Acharya mam vijaniyan navan manyeta karhichit namartya buddhya suryeta sarva deva mayo guru. I myself am the Acharya. Do not think that the Guru is an ordinary man. I myself reside within the heart of Gurudev with all my parts and parcels for the benefit of the disciple. Blaspheming the scriptures. The fourth offense is Shastra Ninda. Blaspheming the Shastra, the scriptures. Of course, this means those scriptures which are concerned with praising the greatness and nobility of Krishna, not others. We must not abuse those scriptures that instruct us about God and his devotees and teach us the eternal good. Holy name, God and sound. The fifth offense is to interpret the holy name of Krishna with the help of the dictionary and grammar, to find diverse meanings in the words of the name. The sound is transcendental. The dictionary, grammar, and any other books of mundane knowledge cannot limit or qualify the holy name. Above the material sound of the name is the transcendental sound within, Shabda Brahma. The name itself is the Supreme Person incarnate by his own free will. He is inseparable from his name and fully present in his sound form. The Vaikuntha Shabda, transcendental sound, is different from the mundane sound that can be produced by the tongue and lips. In homeopathic medicine, all the globules are apparently the same, but the potency within is all important. It is something like that. The ordinary sound of the name and the sound vibrated by a pure devotee come from different planes. The difference is in the potency within. The holy name descends from the spiritual world and comes to express itself by dancing on the tongue. The transcendental sound of the holy name is inseparably connected with the person whom it represents. The 6 offenses to consider the glories of the holy name of Krishna to be a concoction. To sin and chant is suicidal. The 7th offense is to sin on the strength of the holy name. The scriptures declare that one name is sufficient to clear all the sins one can commit. So if we go on indulging, committing many sins with the idea that we will chant one name to cleanse the sin, it will be an offense to the name and not the name proper. We cannot try to utilize him for our service. He is above all this Maya. The real name will not appear there. We must not think, I can do anything and everything, and the name will purify me. It is written in the scriptures that if you go on with this spirit, it will be suicidal.
Okay, so just in your reflections, we're passing through these, but they're all very serious aspects of movement to try to avoid. See, it's not easy. Like Gurudev, in one class, we were in Navadvip, and it was early in the morning, and he said that it's difficult. It seems difficult, this conception of trying to avoid, because the nature of man, the nature of us as conditioned souls, is to commit offense to the Vaishnava. It's true. Our tendencies like that, because we are Bahu Janmi Aparadi Ebaramai Doyakuru. Srila Gurudev Ebaramai Doyakuru. Bahu Janmi Aparade. Life after life. They sing this in the mat. Our tendency, because of our rebellion to God, rebellion to Guru, rebellion to Vaishnava. This is our nature. This is why the world is running and glorifying everyone but the pure Vaishnava. So hence the word trying to come into the adjustment, learning to love God again, learning to love and honor the representatives. So we learn to love them by their mercy. This is a phenomenon. So Gurudev was making that discussion. Our tendency is to be offensive. And he said, but by the association of the Vaishnava, we become free of the offenses. And everyone was sort of reflecting. And then someone came to the realization, it's the same as the Mahamantra. By chanting the Mahamantra, we become free of the offenses to the Mahamantra. Yes. You see?
Sorry. So this is saying, like, basically, if you're in tamagun mode, you intoxicated, you shouldn't chant. But then I think in the Gita or something, Krishna says, chant or like think of me in an impure or pure state.
Yeah,
So,
no, always chant. No matter what, always chant. Always chant. But the chanting, especially if the chanting is connected in the proper channel, it will pull one out. So this is an analysis to this. In the Western sector, people hear Mahamantra. So there are many not connected in lineages. There are many who are in other missions and their gurus have left the proper standing and they're still chanting. I have many friends in this country right now. Their guru left from the position of guru in the 1980s and they're still chanting Mahamantra. So that will have general movement for them, some general auspicious result. Because interesting, where did that Mahamantra originate from? From A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, originally when he came 65, so it spread. But for development from Namaparad to Namabas, they have to come, eventually their chanting will bring them to the position of accepting a bona fide guru in the line of the Sri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya at some stage. And hopefully the guru is at least in the Madhyama position, Madhyama Adhikari. So even devotees who are properly connected in the lineage, sometimes they will be struggling in their conditioning with tamasic and rajasic sanskar or mental mushroom, but keep chanting and keep trying to avoid the offense, like the seventh offense, to commit self-interested nature. But, you know, Maha Mantra, Krishna is merciful, the Vaishnava is merciful. So in the famous expressions of, we call him Big Dave, but Devashish Prabhu in London, he once asked this question to Srila Sridhara Maharaj. Sometimes it seems that we are between being tolerated by the master and pleasing the master. And Srila Sridhara Maharaj laughed and he said, yes, this is true. We're between pleasing and being sometimes tolerated. But we're tolerated because as like a baby, babies sometimes are passing stool on the lap of the mother and passing urine and many things. So we're considering ourselves as students, as babies, but they love us and they want to see our development and reformation. So, you know, I know many, even disciples of Prabhupada, that in front of Srila Govinda Maharaj, they were struggling in different ways with different habits and some pills taking and this, many things. We won't name names, but and Gurudev, no, keep trying. You keep trying, Prabhu. You'll be fine. Because the mercy of Vaishnava, who's in front of us, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and the Maha Mantra, you'll gradually come out from the bog, the quagmire. You will get gradual promotion from Tamagun, Rajagun, and then Sattva. Sattva will become predominant, and then eventually Mukti. You will be liberated. But more than that, you'll be eventually established as self-realized in Svarup Siddhi. And then by the mercy of the Acharyas, you'll be placed in Vastu Siddhi, which means in Leela, in your eternal divine serving position. So many stages. So not to stop chanting. Don't ever think, oh, I'm too fallen. I can't shake this habit. I can't shake this, that. So anyway, so many examples. The cart, the horse before the cart. The Acharyas know our position in the West. We can't follow Vedi, but we have to try to follow the Vedi. But our hope is Raganuga Bhakti under Rupa Raghunath. Our Acharyas are in that line actually. Srila Prabhupada is Shaktivesh Avatar, Nityananda. He knew everyone, their position. And he said, keep chanting, keep following this process. Follow my instruction. Gradually you will all progress. From the mushroom realms. We've had many lifetimes in Tamagun, Rajagun, Sattvagun, back around to Tamagun, back around to Rajagun. Brahma, Bhuvanaloka, Puna Avatuna Arjuna. Higher planetary system, lower planetary system. Our sanskars are wide and vast, but Maha Mantra will pull us all out. Have faith. Have faith in the Lord. Maha Mantra. It's true, the Maha Mantra is all powerful.
I had a quick question, Guru Maharaj. Why didn't he, on the sixth offense, he didn't really elaborate too much on that one?
So sixth offense. Sixth offense sometimes in the Brahma Vivarta Purana, which comes from the Vishnu Purana, I believe. It's sometimes considered as interpretation, making interpretation or concoction. So interpretation or concoction is thinking that actually concoction may be, actually no. This may be referring to considering the name to be of imagination, something of concoction, imagination. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks like here, the chanting of the holy name is forbidden for the faithless. 8th offense is pious activity. Yeah, so this is considered to be imagination, to be something that has been created within the realm of Saguna. No, it's Golokera Premadan Harinam Sankirtan, descending from Narottam Das Thakur is expressing this. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana Tara Shakshi Jagai Madai. So it came to deliver Jagai Madai. It's coming from Goloka. So not coming from within Saguna. So this is why primary or instruction, Mahamantra cannot be changed or interfered with. Also our understanding of Mahamantra is not Ramachandra. Many not to interpret Mahamantra, it's as it's revealed by the Siddha Mahapurush-acharyas. Hare, Srimati Radharani, Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna. Hare Rama, Radha Ramana Hari. The pleasure potency, the predominated divine feminine, Hladini Shakti. Predominator Krishna, Vrindavan conceptions, Swayam Bhagavan. So it's not concocted within the Saguna plane. Mahamantra, descending from outside of the matrix.
And could you also explain a little bit about like the Thakur, like the deity form, like how would you explain that to newer practitioners or even people like me, like the deity, the deity.
So, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and also we know the Pancharatrika system handed down by Narada Muni to establish, especially for the newcomers, especially this, we see in like Swami Maharaj Prabhupada establishing Bhakti in the West. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pracharane Nivashesha Sunyavadi Praskita Praschatadane. That to save us from avoidism and impersonalism. Part of the work that the Acharyas and the Brahma Mantra Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya establish is Archanam, the worship of the Thakur. So this is very interesting. See, the Paramahamsa Vaishnava invites Krishna to descend from above into the form of the Thakur. So the Thakur is not concocted. The form of the Thakur, as established by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who was, of course, empowered by Mahaprabhu, and then Rup Sanatan Raghunath, this conception of worship and approaching the Archanam, the form of Krishna and the deity, the Thakur, is to help in the sadhanic stages of practice, to come into the awareness that God is person, and God is not patriarch or masculine. God is Radha Krishna. So you see in the Gaudiya tradition, Saraswati Thakur, he established Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda, Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Binoda Hari, like in our Vrindavan temple. So Guru, Gauranga, and Radha Krishna. So when Saraswati Thakur in the between 1906, right up to 1935, he was establishing deities in the Gaudiya mission. 64 mutts were established in India. And he was under the guidance of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and the Pancharatrika system, which has been handed down by the Babaji line, but also, via Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the teachings and writings of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Pancharatrika system, and then to Saraswati Thakur, the way by which the deity Krishna is invited in the deity form. So many mantras and much ceremony is established. Fire yajna. We know the different ingredients that are used to bathe the deity. So sugar water, honey, ghee, warm water. Then there's kush grass, vermilion, sandalwood paste, milk. I think warm milk is also used, or milk with sugar mixed like that. And then the 5 substances from the cow are also from memory, from when I've seen deity installed, when Mahaprabhu was installed. There is the connection with the 5 aspects of what comes from Mother Cow to be established in that ceremony. Anyway, many mantras are chanted. Now, very interesting, because when Srila Govinda Maharaj established Mahaprabhu at Sri Govindadam, we saw that ceremony in full swing, and 108 preparations were offered to Mahaprabhu. But Sripad Bhakti Prapan Tirtha Maharaj, our Tirtha Maharaj from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, he was flown from India, and he overviewed that ceremony because he was trained to do that service. Actually trained by who? Sripad Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, actually. One of his disciples helped Tirtha Maharaj to become trained in that service. And anyway, so many ceremonies were going on, and we saw Gurudev, he paid dandavats to the picture of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and then on Sripad Bhakti Prapan Tirtha Maharaj's instruction, because he was the officiating priest, Gurudev came forward with sandalwood paste and tulsi, and we saw him, like, he put his hands up like this, he had tulsi in his right hand, and he was praying, like, with Guru Maharaj, please, Mahaprabhu, please descend. And then he paid his full dandavats. And then after getting up from paying his dandavats, then he took the tulsi and the sandalwood paste and placed them at the feet of the Thakur and invoked Mahaprabhu to descend. And you could feel, they're like the entire temple room filled with hundreds of devotees. We could feel like this wave of Bhakti Shakti descend. And everyone, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And he invoked the Supreme Being to descend into the deity. And that deity, of course, is being worshipped to this day. As with many of these temples everywhere. Like the deity here, Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, was established by Srila Prabhupada in 1972 in Auckland. So Krishna is there, Srimati Radharani is there. For the higher Vaishnava, they're seeing that. And so this is to establish that we are approaching the Supreme Personality of Godheads, their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, their Lordship Sriman Mahaprabhu. And people sometimes ask, where is Nitai? Where is Nitai? I don't see Nitai. But Nitai is there in the form of Sri Gurudev. Nimai, Nitai, Nimai, Nitai. So anyway, we're so fortunate, because it is true, we take the Charanamrita from the deity every day when Radha Govinda are being washed in this Amrita, Charanamrita. Prabhupada would take that every day. So if you have a temple close by, especially where the deity has been established by one of these 3 heavyweight masters, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and many of these great masters, then this will bring great benefit to you, to bow to the deity, take the remnants of food. Chaturvedha Sri Bhagavat Prasada Svadana Triptan Hari Bhakta Shangam. Chaturvedha, 4 types of food stuff offered. Sri Vigrahara Dana Nitanana Sringaratan Mandira Majanado Yuktasya Bhaktasyam. This worshipping and bathing and so deity, and then with all of this worship of the Thakur, the divine Thakur that can be chanted in every time, place, circumstances. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Maha Mantra everywhere, any time, place, circumstance. You chant this Maha Mantra, you're having direct connection with God, with Radha Govinda, Radha Shama Sundar, and in the highest, Radha Gopinath. So, Pranadana He, Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Pranadana He, Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Pranadana He, Jaya Radha Gopinatha, Radha Gopinatha Radhe. Pranadana He means my life. Dana, the life breath of my existence. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath. So yeah, bow to the Thakur. Bow down, mister. Boy George, he sang that song. Bow down, mister. We say Radhe Shyam. So anywhere, bow, give time, give worship to the Thakur, to the Maha Mantra, to the Prasadam, to the Vaishnava, to Sri Guru. Learn to love them again and be free. Hare Krishna. Gaura Hari. We have 2 minutes. There's never enough time, always. We never want the party to end, but Okay, number 7. Is it to sin and chant? No, we came up to
No.
8.
Yes, 8. The Hare Krishna, the supreme purification, the 8th offense, is to think that chanting the holy name is another pious activity, like penance, pilgrimage, giving in charity, service to the country, and so on. If we think lightly of the holy name in this way, then we commit an offense, because the holy name is absolute, and these other processes have only a partial relative position. Other processes are partial. They award some success in this mundane world, but the name can give the Lord himself. So no other process of purification can hold the same position as chanting the holy name of Krishna. It is supreme, and none can come close to it.
So many reflections, how opening hospital, giving in charity, Maha Mantras, supreme above all other action and charity. It's the supreme, the greatest welfare work for all other entities to give them chance or exposure to Maha Mantra. It's true, okay, maybe you open a hospital and some Vaishnava visits because he has some ailment, then you'll get benefit there, of course. If a Siddha Mahapurush Vaishnava approaches a hospital, then that person who donated the hospital ground and the building, they'll get immense Nitya Sukriti, it's true. But above everything, Maha Mantra, not considered to be like pious activity, Sukriti. So Bhakti is Nitya Sukriti, Nirguna, not within Saguna. Charity is Saguna, Sattva, some good, pious, Punya. Punya is the word, the term, Punya. So no other process of purification can hold the same position as chanting the holy name of Krishna. It is supreme and none can come close to it. So everyone in this field right now, we are all chanting Maha Mantra. You are so fortunate. inconceivable. We can't estimate how fortunate. Gurudev would say that. We can't conceive. In time, we'll come to conceive, but it's high thing, very high. Hare Krishna. So listen, I have more service to do actually. So it's come up 1:30. Should we just let's finish to the 10th, and then I can stop at Namabas. But I have some other appointments and things I have to do. So please forgive me. So Prabhu, you can read. Maybe Mathura Prabhu, do you feel to read? Are you in front of a book or? Oh, you have to.
Your audio's not on.
Oh, I need to find the book.
Okay. As it works, but variety.
Okay.
Yeah. We're up to it's actually on page 141. Hare Krishna. The ninth offense, forbidden for the faithless. Yeah. So anyway, many things can reflect on that offense. So not to get concerned about offense. Just try to avoid. Guru and Krishna will help us to try to avoid the Vaishnava Mahamantra. Everything is preparing us to help us to try to avoid. That's true. But yeah, just for the variety, we've had Chandrika read, we've had Mathura, Duranitai read.
I missed it.
If you feel that, I'm more than happy. Page 141. Do you have the link there? I think maybe.
I'm looking for the link. I can't find it.
Oh, here, let me send. Golden Chananda.
Oh, I think I found it.
If I find it before you, we'll race.
Okay, let's race.
Oh, you got it.
What page?
141 on the PDF. Or 141 at the top. It's called.
Oh, I must have got I'm on the wrong book. This is the wrong book.
Okay, copy link address. Here we go.
Did the one work that I posted?
I'm going to go to everyone. Oh, maybe. Is that the link? Madhuranita. Okay, I'll send this to everyone. So this link here, Prabhu, it is the same link. Yes, Madhuranita, you sent, but only to me. But I now sent. And again there, look, Chandrika, you also placed. Hare Krishna. So today is my Wednesday, your Tuesday.
Tuesday here, 140.
Yes, and yesterday was our Ekadasi. Maybe today is your Ekadasi, or the day.
Today.
No.
Yeah.
Yesterday was.
See, depending, different Gaudiya calendars have different days, but often they're around the same, either one day apart.
To find diverse meaning in the words of the name. Where are we from there?
Page 141, you'll see the ninth offense, forbidden for the faithless.
I don't have the wrong book again. Sixth offense. Ninth offense is to give the name to those who do not deserve it, who have no faith in chanting the name. If you press them to chant the holy name, a bad reaction will come to you. Also, without getting any inspiration, we should not make disciples and give Harinam initiation. We will commit offense against the name if we make a business or trade with name giving. If we give the name to anyone and everyone out of greed for becoming a guru, then it will be an offense. Without sanction from above, if one runs to become a guru to get name and fame with some mundane purpose, then it is a great offense.
Yeah, so this, of course, is many discussions can come on this point, but just a quick overview. Srila Govindra Maharaj once expressed, one who is conscious of Krishna consciousness, who is sincere, they may take up the work of extending the Mahamantra on behalf of the predecessor acharyas, but there must be deep sincerity there. And this is the risk, sannyas life, to take up position of acharya or guru. It can, who is courageous will make that jump, but much sincerity is required, because we've seen in the Western history, those who have maybe not been so matured or ready, or they've had ulterior motive, eventually they will crash that particular service. But still, in the time that they've attempted, even those godbrothers and many sincere generals who have tried, maybe at some point they became corrupted, still they have this benefit because they attempted, they tried. But then other acharyas will take up those disciples' guidance and care. So we consider that an unfortunate thing. So you're not to instruct the faithless, not to just give name here for mundane purpose. I need to expand my group. I need to expand my manpower or woman power, but then not thinking that those who are taking the name understand what the path of bhakti is about, or what is required, or the guru is not taking responsibility to personally guide the individual students with love and integrity and authenticity. So yeah, from every position, from newcomer to acharya, everyone has to be conscious of this. Ninth, so the book distributors, giving out the books, and I need to get the money from the book, but the person's not interested, and you've tricked them, and then they take the book and throw it to the bin. This is instructing the faithless. This will also is part of Namaparat. So many factors, from guru to newcomer, middle stage, all stages of Vaishnav rank, Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama, no, but from all in Kanishta and even higher Madhyam have to be very conscious of all of these points. Hare Krishna. And yes, 10th offense. But please, any comment to any of that. Always welcome comments and sharing.
I have a quick comment. It reminds me of how we're supposed to simply live by example, be the example that we want to see in the world. Basically, is that we just live it, and people will either by default, by our own example, they will see and they will seek if that is something that resonates with them, with the state of consciousness that they may have at that particular moment.
That verse, that conception you just shared, when Srila Govindra Maharaj handed me my mala, he quoted this verse, Yajara charateshtas tattareva taro janaha asayat brahmanam kurute lokas tadanavartade. Whatever action a great person does, common people follow. Whatever standard they set by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So this means that, yes, by your good example, as student, as guru, as representative of divinity, everyone will begin to see, yes, this is real. This person is walking the talk and talking the walk, both. So this gradually is what's coming. Our masters want to see us mature and to benefit and to live in the transcendental plane. So yes, that point.
There is congruency in what one says and but what one does, basically, and what one believes.
Yes.
There's congruency. That's how I view it.
Acharya. Acharya means one who teaches by example. So even students are acharyas in the making. It's true. Students are acharyas in the making. Yes. Every seed planted, their divine graces are expecting many more acharyas to emerge. It's true. Male and female, female and male, from this quadrant, that race, this race. And no discrimination. If you surrender to Krishna, to Guru and Krishna, you'll be empowered and you will also be acharya. Yes. True. Hare Krishna. I have to get going quite soon, so we'll, Prabhu, if you'd like to read a little more, the 10th offense, and then maybe at the end of this we can close. Back to Godhead, 10th offense.
The 10th offense is to be too much addicted to a particular thing or to have too much affinity towards the body and bodily wealth. When a boat is anchored, rowing will simply move the boat around the anchor. The anchor must be taken up and then the boat can move forward. So we must not anchor ourselves down with a particular thing. We must be open. The name will create some transformation within the mental system, and we must be open and unprejudiced enough to go where the name will send us. If we carefully try to avoid that transformation and stick to our present life, that is an offense against the name. To invite him and then ignore him. We must not accept the name as a foreign thing. He is our friend. We should be quiet at home with him. We are going to attain a very soothing and friendly connection by the realization of the holy name of Krishna, which is all good, all beautiful, all charming.
Yay.
By chanting the holy name.
Yes.
By chanting the holy name, we will attain our most desirable end of life and go back to God, back to home, and not to any foreign country. We must take the name in a friendly, affectionate way. The name is the only object of our love. He is our friend, not any anti-party. So the name will take us home, not to any foreign land. That is our sweet home, and he is our sweet guardian. With the spirit, we shall go on chanting the holy name of Krishna. These are the 10 offenses to be avoided in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yay. Dandavats.
Yeah.
So thank you so much all for your company and loving reflection and service. Together, you know, we'll all get by with a little help from our friends. The Vaishnavas, the great masters, they're the true friends of all. Haha Prabhu Koradi Odi Homori Padachaya. Ebijasa Gosik Prabhuvana. Friend of the fallen. They're coming to wipe the tears from the eyes of the fallen souls. And so together in company, good company, we'll try to please their divine graces and continue in the seva. Hare Krishna, and thank you all so much.
Hare Krishna, this was really great. Dandavats.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Dandavats.
Dandavats.